breaking news. Beasts of Bermuda actually did something right. And by Beasts of Bermuda, I mean Predatoria. Hi, I'm Zero, and let's get right into the news. Oh god, I sound like, what's his name, Keemstar. Anyway, what has happened in Beasts of Bermuda? Well, here's the thing. Remember that map where they had Titania and all that stuff where you had to play the gauntlet? Guess what? You can turn it off if you make your own server. What? This actually happened? Holy crap. This is amazing. The next thing that I need to go over too is that remember all the things that he removed? You know, like auto revive, just the whole fact that we can do events on our servers with the growth storms and all that stuff. You know, just the small little things like stuff like that. Well, guess what? We can actually turn those on and off anytime we want. Like, what? There was a huge war in the Discord chat, and I can tell you that I was firsthand there. And within 3 days, I believe, 3 or 4 of this update being out, Predatoria personally came out and said that he is going to make all these settings turned on or turned off and everything else. So this is really freaking good, and I am very happy. So before I get into it, I'm going to try and get into the server that I joined, and oh, look at that, a connection failure. But whatever, we'll just keep trying in a couple of minutes. So you can just look at this little background thing where I'm trying to get into the server. So other than that, I pretty much have that. I'm really excited. But I have a co-host today. This is Jade, or as I call her, Jadicus Maximus. Say hi.
Hello.
There you go. That's an intro right there. So, Jade, there is another setting that they have that I haven't gone over, and I'd like you to actually say it because you're Jadicus Maximus and everything else. So let's go over that. Why don't you tell us?
So they added a few new mechanics to the game and to the shrines specifically, where they give you blessings. And basically how it works is you have 2 more options now. You have Take Trinket or Blessing. But in order to get the blessing, if you go to, say, the Speed Shrine, you have to have a trinket from either the Combat Shrine or the Survival Shrine. And, you know, it's the same for each of them. So if you're going to go to a certain shrine for a certain blessing, you have to have one of the other 2 shrines' trinkets on your dinosaur when you choose blessing. So what the blessings do for the certain shrines is the survival deity reduces comfort drop associated with eggs by 50% and reduces the movement penalty associated with incubating eggs by 100% and grants increased gestation speed by 75%. And it also increases the chances of passing on exclusive skins or granting bio layers, meaning your dino will glow. So that's pretty fucking sick. It also buffs incubated buff by an additional 25%. Your eggs cannot be damaged by damage received during combat, which, if for some of you who are kind of new or just don't know, if you receive before this patch and before the blessing, if you don't have the blessing, if you took damage, a high amount of damage from anything, falling, stress, stuff like that, your eggs would get damaged, and that would increase the chances of getting negative inherits, which is not good. But also for the males, makes nests cheaper to make by 50%. And if both parents have the same blessing from the survival deity shrine, the chances of getting a negative inherit go to 0.
They go to me. Holy crap.
But the drawback to this, as always, there always has to be a drawback, is you get increased food and water drain by 40%. Now, the other deities aren't really that in-depth, but the speed deity will grant you 50% increased growth, but you get 75% food and water drain. So if you want to grow faster for 30 minutes, you're unfortunately going to have to deal with becoming a vacuum. But that's a pretty good drawback, in my opinion.
Definitely indeed, yes, quite.
And the power deity shrine grants 75% of your resurrection costs is already met by the blessing. And this increases your food and water drain by 40%. So that's exciting. Now there's a few mechanics changes. I can go over all of them. Here, let me find it. There we go. So, for mechanics, after being resurrected, creatures now drop empty carcasses until they eat and drink food. The fullness of the dropped carcass cannot exceed the value of the food they have eaten since being resurrected. To prevent farming food with new players, with new power deity blessing. So for life cycle on Titania, life cycle and life cycle have been split into two game modes, and these two game modes are now called life cycle, which includes the gauntlet and the faster growth, and free roam, which includes basically the old growth system, where it took you a lot longer and there was no gauntlet and you couldn't get sick. This was a change they made just today. So it was... And there was a lot of backlash. I saw basically the community split in two. Indeed. A lot of people like the gauntlet, and a lot of people like the old growth. Me included, but I kind of have that taste for the gauntlet, but not wanting to play Vacuum Simulator. So servers that wish to use old Bob growth and mechanics on Isla Titania can do so by switching the game mode to free roam on their Isla Titania server. So basically, you can have the old growth system of Beast of Bermuda from Rival Shores and Ancestral Plains on Titania, which is the new map that came out, and that is freaking amazing.
Indeed, I 100% agree.
Conversely, all servers who wish to run the current Titania Gauntlet gameplay can do so on older maps by setting their server's game mode to Life Cycle. Life Cycle now being the Gauntlet. So, that's pretty cool. I personally don't like how the Gauntlet is right now, because it's kind of Vacuum Simulator, like I said, because you're constantly in need of food as a larger dino, and you grow faster, which I don't really like. I like kind of chilling back a little bit, but also having, that kind of edge.
That's indeed. This just in, actually, before we continue, I've in the video here, I can see that a lot of things have been added on the map. I think people might have the ability to customize their map again by adding different foliage and stuff and cosmetics.
Yep.
So that is added.
Yep.
Oh, well, there we go. And I'm seeing the blessing and the pledge and all that stuff. That's really cool. So let's continue what you were saying before.
Okay, so some of the one admin command had a bug to it where fill all stats and set stats would make your dinos dirty. I don't know what that means. It probably means that the dinosaur would disappear after the admin logged off of it.
I believe how it works is kind of like the dirty dinosaur thing, you know that thing?
Mm-hmm.
It was basically to stop people from selling dinosaurs, and when Pred wasn't making enough money, he did that setting. Yeah. So the
set weather command now The set weather command now applies the enhanced growth buff on free roam game mode.
Very good, yes, very good.
The server config B disable character death now allows players to automatically resurrect when they die while on free roam mode.
Oh my.
The console commands spawn carcass and spawn plant can be used on free roam regardless of map.
Praise it! Praise it, girl! Praise it!
The growth rate, water drain rate, food drain rate, server configs now fully work on lifecycle Titania, meaning you can grow slower, have less water drain, and have less food drain on the lifecycle mode for the gauntlet.
My god.
Admin PV, so PvE, PvP, and PvPVE. I don't know how you say that. Game experience can be used on lifecycle or free roam. So some QOL changes. Plants now despawn by going towards your jaw and disappearing gradually. It kind of looks stupid, not gonna lie.
I haven't tried that yet, but we'll definitely have to try this when we play the game.
If you're a Psy, walk around, vacuum everything. It looks fucking weird. I'm
an itchy right now, but yeah.
Rather than instantly despawning. Added a few biome volumes to Forest Island and Forest Island canvas maps. Disabled prompt that warns players about joining non-Titania maps. Deity shrines now have banners above them that show up when you use scent. They look similar to freshwater banners, but they are red. And
I'm gonna have to try this out, actually. I'm in the desert biome right now, and I'll see if I can find a deity shrine. Mind you, it's a growth storm right now.
I'm not entirely sure if it shows up red for each of the shrines, but it did show up red for the combat shrine.
Okay.
So balance changes, decreased Velociraptor's food drain rate by 10%, Erectodromius by 10%, Tyrannosaurus by 6%.
Okay.
They did some optimization, reduced the size of several textures present on Titania to reduce VRAM usage. Titania now pre-caches before players attempt to join the server. This may help players with lower-end PCs having issues connecting onto Isla Titania servers. And there's a bunch of bug fixes. I'm not gonna read those.
Yeah, if people actually have Bob, yeah, if they have, like, you know, Beasts of Bermuda, they should be able to see it. Or I'm pretty sure you can see the fixes on their community thing anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not a huge big thing kind of deal. I'm still looking for that shrine. Oh, there's the shrine. Okay. There's a water source. Let me take a look here. So there's a water source. I'm gonna, like, let's see here. Oh, I got your thing.
I just chose, I deleted my Ichthy from before, so I just chose the
there is an aura over it. It's like a blue one, so you know where the shrines are, so it makes it easier to see, especially underwater. So is that everything there?
Yeah, that is pretty much everything. Oh, that's a para.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a glorious day, and I hope that finally, and I did see actually a, someone showed me a, post that he had on his, Discord or whatever it was, and he said that this whole situation with Bob, it really opened up his eyes and everything else. Mind you, there are things in the future. Oh, there's a thing I can hear your background music. But there are things in the future that, like, or I should say in the past, that he did do that I'm not fond of and stuff like that. So he does have a lot of growing up to do, in my opinion. But other than that, this is a really good step in the right direction. I think we can agree with that, don't you, Jadicus Mascimus?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop this video because me and her are actually going to make another video where me and her are actually just playing. As you can see, she's a little Skeebler right here. and it appears to be really liking this sandy thing here. And so with that, I'm just gonna end the video here. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the news, and well, I am out of here.